Hello and welcome to another fantastic edition of Test Gear Tuesday. I am your host, Jack. Welcome to the Vintage Electronics Geek YouTube channel. In a previous video, I demonstrated and showed off my HP-3580 Alpha audio spectrum analyzer, which is what we're looking at here. Guess I could have turned it on. Had some kind of better visual representation. There we go. This is a fantastic machine. I don't use it often, but when I do, it's there, and it's fantastic. I mean, what else are you going to say? It sucks. But all actuality, truthfully, it's fantastic for what it is, for what it does. It's pretty awesome. Well, probably 6 months after buying that, well, what can I say? Other than I bought another one. Ignore that. That's not what I paid for it. That's what they were asking, but that's not what I paid for it. As you can see, this one looks very similar to that one, with the exclusion of we do have a frequency counter up there. This one here is 4 digits to the left of the decimal and 1 to the right. With this one, we actually have 2 to the decimal to the left and 1 to the right on the decimal. Apologize, my lighting there is not fantastic, but it is what it is. There will be a link to my other video on that. And I highly recommend you go checking that out, because we're not going to play too much with the new one. I just wanted to show some of the differences, and we're going to take a peek at the guts here in a moment. Top side guts only, because I don't have the bottom tore off. Anyway, as you see what we're doing here, we're doing a full band scan. This is 20 hertz through 50,000 hertz. And we're pulling it off of the B&K. And as you saw, that's 500 millivolts going into it. Now the frequency counter, what that does, and I show that a lot in the other video, but it's the same thing. You can put that onto a set frequency, and then you can come here and you could tell where, let's say you're tuning up a notch filter or something, you're testing a notch filter. You want to see what it does. Well, you could set it here to your frequency and compare it and check your highs and lows and all that good stuff. If you're into audio gear, I'm sure you know already what this is and what it does. So I won't go into a lot of explanation. But in a nutshell, that's what it does, along with other things. So what I find on the other one is that frequency counter seems to be pretty much spot on. This one here, even though it does seem to be on, this acts more like a reference. You're in the neighborhood, good enough. It could also be that it needs to be calibrated, and I wouldn't put it past it that last part is a true statement. For my needs, for my purposes, one day I'll sit down and see about doing that, but I think it'll be okay for what I do. Anyway, another thing that is different from the old one is the plugs here. You'll notice that both of them are red tipped, and we have a switch. See if I could zoom you in. No, I can't. There. I'm using my cell phone to shoot this video, and I'm using a paid app, and haven't got the app all figured out. And if you notice, this one right here, red and black tip and no switch. This switch is also a little different, just in design. This one here was a round tip, where as you come back over here, and you see this one here is more flat. And essentially that's about it. They're about the same beast. Now, what I was doing here, like I said, was just a scan of the entire band. You could also check for harmonics, and I would show you that, but I don't do that a lot. I don't remember how to set this up to do harmonics, but it definitely does do harmonics. I've done that once or twice in the year or so that I've owned the other one. So like I said, I don't have a lot of knowledge. I don't play with it a lot, but when I do, you know, it's cool. I primarily have it set up to my Wow and Flutter machine, so then I could monitor over there, but I haven't really done that but maybe once. Unfortunately, like I said, that sits there all by itself, quiet and alone. Once in a while, I'll hook something else up to it, but, you know. Let's go ahead and check out the guts. Now, in this one, the crank box is the gearbox is really cool. It's all brass, and it's really super duper cool. As you notice, this one is all electronics. Cool in its own right, true, I agree, but the gearbox is awesome. The components in this range from about 1986 to 87, so that dates this to at least 1987. I'm not going to sit here and holler out what each one of these chips do, because I don't know, and I'm not going to sit here and buffalo you. With the other device, HP went all out with the gold, and I seem to see that is a commonality trait with the older HP gear, jam-packed full of gold. So this stuff really is worth its weight in gold. And this is the first time, well, not this exact moment, but today is the first time that I've actually had the cover off and have checked this out. Like I said, I haven't pulled the bottom covers off yet to look at them. If I remember right, there's really nothing under there much. That's where the battery lives. Yes, this does take a battery for portability use. This one here has option 1 and 2, and at this moment I don't know what that is because I haven't looked it up. It's a really nice piece of test gear. If you're into audio, I really recommend one of these. Let's go ahead and adjust my light. Go to Sine Wave. And as you see, we have a 40,000 hertz frequency at negative 10 dB. Let me adjust my sensitivity. So very, very sensitive. So I'm turning down my sensitivity here with these two controls, and you can see where we have our signal, and we're at 32,000 here. We're not quite center line here. And as you see, we've gone past that. All right, so there we got 40,000. Now I know these controls over here also affect it. And you notice messing with this control also changes that right there. So that's what I'm saying. It probably needs to be calibrated. And since I'm not doing lab grade kind of work, ballpark work, or just to look at the wave is really all I need to do. You could even get into that a lot more. Generally what I do, since I don't need to know a specific frequency because I got other means of reading a frequency, I just put that control in center. Done. Anyway, as you see, it works, and you know, if I spent more time with it, I would probably get it all figured out and be the master of it and have it all down pat. But it is what it is. As you know, you get tools that you don't reach for often, and but when you need them, they're there. Anyway, that will conclude this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate it. And again, the link for my video on the other device, the first one, will be listed below. So if you are by chance interested, it is a lengthy video. I think like an hour and a half. By all means, go check it out. Enjoy it. Just a quick demo and show and tell on this device. I will now clean this up and pull the old one out and stab that one in place. Thanks for watching Test Gear Tuesday. Do appreciate it. Catch you in the next one. See ya. Alright, video is not over yet. Here I am the next day, and I have the device pulled out of its hole, and I thought, well, you know, might as well pull the covers off and let's go ahead and just look at them side by side for comparison. And so that's what this addition to the video is going to be about. So what we have here is we have the new one, we have the old one. I also want to state real quick that I do have the book on this. It's the Owner's and Service Manual, and if you have one of these, I really do recommend the hard copy versus PDF. The free PDF is just fine. It's everything this is, but I know for me it's a little challenging sometimes when you start getting into those big schematics and stuff like that. It's fine, you know, but I like the hard copy. So anyway, we have new, old. These big empty bays right here, this is where the battery went. And back here we have the power supply section. And you're going to notice they're almost identical. And what's very interesting is the date codes here on the old one is 1975. And I believe last night we stated that this was 1987. So it's really interesting to see that, you know, 12 years, they're still using the same design and essentially the same parts, you know. So I mean, very interesting indeed. So I guess if it worked, why break it? Why reinvent the wheel? Down here we have the bottom side electronics. This jack right here is where the battery plugs into, and you got a little notch right here for the cable, and sits there. Now, I don't know what the power pack look like, because neither one of mine came with one. So, but I mean, it's a big pack. I mean, it fills that hole, I would imagine. I don't know if there was a tray that went with it, and I don't think the book showed me that, but I could be completely wrong. Adjust my light so we can see just a little better. And as stated, they are using the same design. And if you notice back up in there, we have, well, you can probably see it right there. There's a string that runs between that control and that control. And it's very interesting because it's the same thing here. So again, same design. Only thing really different is the age of the capacitors. As you see, we've got aluminum body here without the PVC covering, and here we've got with PVC covering. Okay, let me pause the video real quick, and I will flip them over, and we'll look at the top side. All right, got them flipped around. Do a wide shot. And then let's go ahead and zoom on in. And so right now we're looking at the new one, and that there's the digital frequency counter. And when we switch over to the other one, you'll notice the gears. The gears are really nice. I like the gears. And then, not sure if I hit the power supply, but I think I did. All right, and let's go ahead and come on over here. Now, you will notice some differences. I'm sitting here looking at them, doing this. I definitely do see some differences. If you look at the power supply in the new one, right, and then the power supply in the old one, this one's got a switch. Don't know what the switch does, but we definitely don't have that over here. Components are slightly different, of course. And something else I noticed here while looking at it, this one here, we've got a lot of transistors. And we got a bank of resistors. And then if we come over here to the new one, we don't have that many transistors, and we don't have a bank of resistors like we do in the other one. However, we do have these brown things, and those very well could be our resistor packs. I don't know. I haven't got in there with a magnifying glass to see if I could ID them. So right away, a little bit of differences, just probably in newer technology design, or newer design, or whatever, something. And we're void of this chip here as well. As you see, don't have it here, but it definitely could be morphed into something else that I'm unfamiliar with. So let's go ahead and resume the flyover. So here we are at the power supply, transformer, and then our all of our things that we can get in trouble with our golden screwdriver. And there is our very cool gearbox. Isn't that cool? Very cool. Now let me bring my light towards the back and we could look at a few differences here as well. So, new one, old one. And here is the old one. Just notice I'm void of the feet. Very cool. Okay, well that's all we wanted to tag in at the end of the video here. Was just go ahead and look at the differences since I had them open side by side. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this rendition of Test Gear Tuesday. And hope you didn't mind the wiggly camera, but I also hope you understand why we had to go wiggly. Talk to you guys later. Catch you in the next installment of Test Gear Tuesday. See you later.